Hi students, welcome back. In this video, I will solve some sample questions for you for the final exam. Please try to watch these videos as much as you can. These are really helpful and it gives you an idea what you will see in the exam and what I expect from you. So first of all, let's start with the questions on line theory. Let's say, first of all, I will recap everything on the line theory. So a line, as I just mentioned before, it's a line, has got a starting point, end point. So this one could be XA, YA. This could be XB, YB, okay? And then if you want to find the distance between these two, distance I showed with D, that would be the square root of XA minus XB to the power 2 plus YA minus YB to the power 2, okay? So remember guys, for a line, we had this format, mx plus c. This is the equation of a line, okay? So we had two different formats, or ax plus by plus c equals to c. We had these two formats. But one of them, it's really, of more interest, and this is the one, because here, as you can see, this one, if you go with this format, this would be the slope, and c or b, it depends, they call it y-intercept, okay? So here, these are the equations. This is the equation of the line, two different formats, but we prefer the top one. This is the line. These are the 2 points on a line, and you need at least 2 points to draw it, right? And then remember, if they give us 2 points and they ask us to find the equation of the line, there are a few steps we have to do. Take a look at here. We need the slope, okay? So this is the formula for a slope. YB minus YA, XB minus XA. Okay, so this is the slope. After you found the slope, you just substitute it in this formula, right? And then from here, you get, XB. Okay, you get the equation of the line. These are some of the most important things you have to know. And then there are some special cases, like when two lines are parallel, okay, that means their slope are equal. When two lines are perpendicular, that means when you multiply the two slope, that would be equal to -1. To make it even easier for you, I made a cheat sheet here. So here you have the x and y, you have 2 points and a line. And remember guys, you need at least 2 points. There are 2 points on the line. To find the slope, this is the formula you could use, okay? And then depending on the slope, it could be positive, 0, or negative. If it's like this way, it would be positive. If it goes this way, it would be negative, right? So if you want to find the equation, we can use either of these formulas, right? It's the same. So you can either use the starting point or use the end point. It doesn't make any difference, right? Okay, continuing on special cases, we might have a line which is perpendicular to y-axis. Okay, the equation would be x equals c, because all the points on this line have got the x coordinate as c, and the slope is undefined. Another specific case would be a line perpendicular to x-axis. The equation is y equals d. The slope is 0. Okay, so you would have different scenarios, as I just mentioned. See, positive slope, then you would have negative slope, which I don't have it here, but it would be a line like this way, okay? Then you would have a line which is parallel to y-axis, then the slope is undefined, and then you would have another line parallel to x-axis, and the equation is y equals to d, and the slope is 0. Okay, so now if you have a line, if you draw the line, you need to create a table from x and y. you need at least 2 points. Your independent value is x, so you pick some values for x like 0, 1, or 2 small numbers, and you find the corresponding y value, and then you find these two values and connect them together. This is how you can graph it, right? By definition, if they ask you to find the x-intercept, it would be when the y is equal to 0. The y-intercept by definition is when x is equal to 0. So this is how I showed here. When there is an intersection with the x-axis, right, that would be x-intercept. And in this point, y is equal to 0. Y-intercept, right, it's when the x is 0, when there is an intersection of the line and the y-axis. All right, we talked about parallel lines, their slope being equal. We talked about perpendicular line. The multiplication of the two slopes should be equal to -1. Let's put it into action. So let's assume they give us 2 points. Let's say 2 and 3. This is point A. The other point is 4 and 5. Okay, and then they ask us a few different questions. First of all, they ask us to find what is the distance between these two. To find the distance, okay, this is the formula I have, right? If you remember in here, this is the formula. You just have to plug it in, right? So you would say 2 minus 4 to the power 2 plus 3 minus 5 to the power 2. And remember, the distance, as I just mentioned, it's always a positive value. So it would be 2 to the power 2 is 4. And there is another 2 to the power 2, which is 4. So that would be square root of 8. So if you simplify it, it would be 2 square root of 2. Okay, so this is the distance. And now let's see if I want to pass a line from these 2 points, what does it look like? So this is your x, this is your y, and then 2, and then 3, let's say here, 4, and then 5. Okay, now I use another color to show you what is the line. So this is a line. Oh, let's say this is the line. Okay, it's not a perfect one, but this is a line. So you know from here that the slope must be positive because it's this way. If your line is this way, it's positive. But if your line is this way, it should be a negative slope. Okay, so next step, let's find the slope. To find the slope, we have a formula. We just use the formula, we just plug it in. So difference of y, so 5 minus 3, and then difference of x, 4 minus 2. So the final answer would be 2 divided by 2, which is 1. As you can see, it's plus 1, and it works. Okay, so far, we know what is the distance between these 2 points. We know the slope of the line. Okay, we have the graph, but we don't have the equation. Let's do the equation. So here, y minus ya equals m times x minus xa. Okay, so here, I just substitute y minus ya. So that would be 5. The slope is 1. X minus 4, right? So after simplification, the answer would be x. So we have -4 plus 5 plus 1. This is your equation. Remember, in this format, the slope is the coefficient of x and it's 1, and it's exactly what we calculated. And we are not done yet because they could also ask you what is the y-intercept. Remember, guys, if you report your final answer in this format, this would be your y-intercept, right? Your y-intercept. That means around point 1, you will cross the y-axis. Now, another question would be, what is the x-intercept, right? X-intercept by definition is when y equals to 0, right? So you have the equation y equals x plus 1. We want to find the x-intercept, so y should be equal to 0. So here, if I solve it, x must be equal to -1. Exactly at point x -1, this is your x-intercept. So this is your x-intercept, and this is your y-intercept. I want you to learn this type of question. Please try to go over it before the class, because this is the very basic one. From here, I want you to, do more advanced questions on line theory. Then I will be back with more questions, with more videos. See you soon. Okay, now let's continue with another type of question that you might expect during the final. Here in this type of question, I will give you some information, enough information, and I want you to come up with the equation with it, okay? And then solve for it and then find the missing values, okay? So, let's say we have a triangle. So we have a triangle. The area of this triangle, which as you know is half multiplied by base multiplied by height, is how much? Is 23 meters squared. Okay, so 23 meters squared. Now, if let's say the height, okay, it's 6 meter more than the base. So the height is 6 meter more than the base. This is the actually, what you call it, the relationship between these two. Now let's represent the base of the triangle, and then here it's asking you to set up equation for b, right? So here, as you all know, with a triangle, if this is the h, the triangle is always perpendicular, right, to the base. So if I want to use the formula for the area is 1 divided by 2 multiplied by h multiplied by b equals 2. So here, instead of h, I can substitute it with 6 plus b multiplied by b. Now, if I multiply everything together, it should be equal to 23, because the area it's given and it's 23 meters squared. So if I multiply everything, this goes by this, that would be 3 plus half b multiplied by b equals to 23. So again, I have this one multiplied by this one, 3b plus 1 over 2 b squared over 23. So what I can do here, I multiply everything by 2 to get rid of the fraction. So it would be b squared plus 6b. Then on this side would be 46. I bring everything to the one side, so negative 46. What I can do here is actually using the quadratic, let's say the best thing, it's using the quadratic formula. So let's solve it. So if we want to use the formula, we have to find the a, b, c, which I put a star next to it. So these are the a, b, c of the quadratic equation. So a, it's always the coefficient of the power 2. So here the a is 1, b is 6, okay, and c is negative 46. If it's confusing with you, you can consider this as x squared plus 6x minus 46. 46 is 2 times 23, so it's not an easy factorization. What I can do here, I would say b equals x. This b, it's the base, right? So it would be equal to negative b plus and minus b squared minus 4 times 1, and then negative c over 2 times a, okay? So here, what you have to do in order to find the values, you have to solve this quadratic equation, okay? And if you solve this quadratic equation, you will find two answers. So the x or the base would be equal to either 4.416 or negative 10.41. So as you know, when we are talking about a side of an angle or the base, it can never be negative. So this is not acceptable. Why? Because the side, right, the distance or the length cannot be negative. Okay, the distance or length, right, can never be negative. Okay, so this is what I expect from you to do during the exam. And for the B, which is the base, you have to put, if you want to round it up, it would be 4.42 meter. So in other words, the H, which is the height, would be 6.42. Okay, so some of you might try to multiply this by this and then multiply it by half. Then you would realize if you do so, it wouldn't be exactly 23, which is completely correct, because remember guys, here we rounded up. If you round up, when you want to substitute back and check back your answer, you have to make sure that you use the exact value. Okay, guys, these are some of the typical questions that you can expect under the what you call it, the line theory. These are simple ones, but definitely there would be some of these questions.
Another question.
Okay, let's continue. Now here we will do another type of question. As you can see, again, we have 2 points, point A and point B. From these 2 points passes a line. Point A is 3, 0, and point B is 1 and 5. So you're asked, first of all, to find a distance between these two. So you use the formula, the difference of x's to the power 2 plus the difference of y to the power 2. So the final answer would be D would be square root of 29. Okay? Now, let's assume the question is asking you to find the slope of another line which is perpendicular to the line AB. So let's call the slope of the second line, the red line, M. And the question is asking you to find the slope of the red line, which is noted as M. So as we know, if the two lines are perpendicular, right, the slopes multiplied to one another must be equal to -1. So here, if I have to find the slope of the line passes through point AB, so here that would be the difference of y divided by difference of x. Okay, and the answer would be 5 divided by -2, which is -2.5. Okay, so this is the slope of the line passing through point AB. So what you can do here, you just substitute it in the formula. If m prime is -2.5 multiplied by m, which is unknown, the answer must be -1. So the slope of the red line must be equals to 0.4. Okay, this is how you can calculate the slope of the lines which are parallel or perpendicular to one another. Okay, and remember guys, if you refer to the cheat sheet that I gave you in the beginning of this video, it would be very helpful because it has all the formulas, and by watching this video you will learn about the application. Another type of question that you might encounter would be, let's say you have a square. Okay, so when we have a square, that means all the 4 sides are equal and sides are always perpendicular to one another. Let's say I give you the coordinates of 2 points two endpoints on the one side of the square. So 6, 2, and 10, 2. So from here, what you can do, you can basically find the distance. If you are giving this information and you're asked to find the area, okay, because you have a square, you know all the four sides must be equal, right? So you just find one side giving the given information and then multiply it by itself to get the area. So let's do it together. Difference of y minus the difference of x. Oh, difference of y to the power 2 plus the difference of x to the power 2. The final answer is 4. Remember, guys, the distance is always positive. So if one side is 4, that means all the other three sides are 4 as well. So the area would be 4 times 4, which is 16. And remember, guys, whatever they're measuring, whatever they used in as a unit of measurement, let's say if it's meter, the area would be meter square. Okay, this is the area. So now another part of the question is asking you to find the slope of the line, of the side or of the line, which I showed you with an orange, let's say, mark on it. So first of all, what you know is that the two sides are perpendicular, right? So again, if they're perpendicular, that means the slope are multiplied together on -1. Okay, and now let's calculate the slope of the given line. Okay, so the slope is, let's say, 0 divided by 4. That's one of the beautiful exceptions that we had. Go back to your cheat sheet and see what kind of line has got the slope of 0. Okay, a line which is parallel to x-axis, right? And passing through point 2. So the equation of the line is y equal to 2. Okay, and then it is parallel to x-axis. Okay, here I'm trying to give you a better visual representation. So here, this is your line. Okay, so one side is 6.2, the other side is 10.2. Okay, so the equation of the line is y equals to 2. So if you want the equation of the other line, because this one is 0, right? You want to find the equation of the other line. So this one is rather tricky. You would know that the other line would be definitely a line which is parallel to the y-axis, right? And any line which is parallel to the y-axis, the slope, would be positive, right? This is a very tricky one, but go back to your cheat sheet, you will realize why. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay around for more videos. This is some example questions for line theory.